Okay, I'm going to introduce myself. Um, my name is Mari de Caires. I am a neurolinguistic practitioner. I'm a coach. I'm a life and business coach. And I'm also a breast cancer survivor. I have been cancer free for 10 years, almost 11. So I have learned so much stuff in these 10 years that I had made my mission to share it with you. And that is what I wanted to do. And that's what I'm doing here, doing the challenges. So you will learn what have taken me 10 years to learn and to put it in practice, because it's like, okay, I want to solve my issues, I don't know how. It takes you a while to find out how to do, all of that. So that's why I'm here. And I would like to talk today about brain health. Today is the day of anti-aging, but the brain has to do a lot of how you look and how you feel, right? So we are going to talk like, why is that important, your brain health, to look younger? And the daily habits and routines for your brain health is super important. One of them is to start your day with intention, gratitude, and appreciation. Number two is to engage in smart exercise. It's so important to do strengthening, to do cardiovascular, because that will help you, with your body and your brain. You need to flex the muscle between your ears. Your brain, you need to do exercises for your brain. And we are going to talk a little bit about them in a little, later. The exercise is also good to combat stress and accelerate mindfulness. You have to make sleep a priority. You need to sleep between 7 to 8 hours a night to be at your optimal, to function really in a premium, way. You need to protect your decision-making skills. You also need to be curious about, mistakes that you make. Not to get upset at the mistakes, but just to become masterful in learning from your mistakes. If you make a mistake, you know that that's a way that doesn't work, so you wouldn't use it any longer. So it's, mistakes are there to help you. So don't get upset because you made a mistake. So eliminate that way of doing things. And now we are going to talk about moderate exercise in a regular basis, because moderate exercise is better than a pill. Exercise will improve your cognitive abilities. It will improve your cognitive flexibility, improve your mood, improve your focus. It will improve your cardiovascular functions. It's slow aging. It's the faster way to lose body fat and abdominal fat too. And it will help you to fast lose fat, and weight. It will improve your lung capacity. It will help you with inflammation. That is what creates a lot of sickness, right? It will lower the level of stress hormones like the cortisol, that's so bad for you and get you sick. It will higher the levels of endorphins and other feel-good neurochemicals. It will higher the levels of DHEA. It's the fountain of youth hormones. It will better oxygenate your body cells. It will improve the insulin sensibility. It will lower the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and some kinds of cancers. It will improve your blood pressure. it will give you more muscle mass, and in that way you will look younger and you will be more flexible. It will, it will help you to higher the rate of your metabolism. It includes, flexibility and agility, as I said before, right? And it greater disintoxicate through and give you a better sleep. And it will improve the ability to stay calm during stressful situations. And that's so important because
Hola, bienvenido a su casa. Sin llave.
Can you please put the
¿No te metiste? Claro que te lo mandé.
Okay, let me see. Okay, let's see what types of exercises are good for your brain. Some of the exercises that are good for your brain is burst training. It involves 60 seconds of burst, and you go, high intensity, and then followed by a low intensity exercise. We recommend to take 45 minutes walk, and then 4 or 5 1-minute periods to burst. Let me tell you what is this. It's like, imagine that you go for a walk for 45 minutes, and then 10 minutes into the walk, you go for a minute high intensity, and you start running really fast, and then you go back to walking, and you do that 4 or 5 times during your 45-minute walk. And that will help you a lot. It's great for your brain. Another type of exercise that is great for your brain is the strength training. And it will get stronger, with age. And you are less likely to get Alzheimer's disease. And you will also feel and look younger. And it prevents also the cognitive decline. And will help you with the weight loss. And it's recommended to do 2 sessions per week of 30 to 45 minutes, so twice a week. Well, now that we know a little bit about physical things that will improve our brain, there's a lot of things that involve exercises for your brain and your mindset, because it's as important as the physical stuff. Mindset, it's super important. And I have one guest that she's my friend, my mentor, my coach, and my trainer. She's a master NLP practitioner, and I would love to introduce her because she's going to talk a lot about mindset and how it will improve your health and make you feel younger. So Shirley Solis, let's welcome Shirley Solis, and it's my pleasure to introduce her.
Thank you so much, Mari. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you and this wonderful community of women who is all about getting your sexy back. I absolutely love that name. And I think that getting our sexy back, it isn't something that just happens like when women are young and they're like sexy, but anytime that we start having children, anytime that we start aging in any way, shape, or form, it's almost like we forget what that sexy list looks like, right? Because society has placed within our mind the idea that sexy looks flawless, that sexy is wrinkleless, that sexy has to have a certain shape, and it has to be that hourglass shape. And if we're anything other than the hourglass shape, then it certainly is about being sexy. So one of the things that I love about this community is the idea, and that you actually represent that very well, is the fact that you definitely represent sexy, but sexy elegant, sexy in a way that it isn't just about the human body of the woman, but it's about being elegant, it's about being smart, it's about being confident about what you're doing. It's about being comfortable in your own body and in your own skin, without the need to have the perfect body or the need to have that ideal society look body. it's just being comfortable with who we are. And in particularly today, as you're talking about all of these components of the brain and the thoughts and what is really important to us about having that healthy state of mind. What I want to say is that for a very long time, we've been told that we have to really process our thoughts. Like we really have to think about our thoughts and think positive thoughts, right? Who here has heard that you have to have positive thoughts? Yeah. And that is really important. But let me ask you this. How many of you have found it really difficult to control your thoughts and have positive thoughts? Like suddenly you're like, okay, I'm going to have a great positive day. And next thing you know, you just become aware of something and like little gremlins, these little mind gremlins creep up. And when you least expect it, you find like all of these negative thoughts and they're creeped up on you, right? Who here can relate to that? Like next thing you know, you're feeling
Yeah, it happens.
right? It's like, you're like, where did it come from?
But you have to get rid of those stuff.
Right. But imagine how difficult it is. Like if we're like, oh, I can't think that way. I don't want to, I don't want to think about negative thoughts. So one of the techniques that I know is super useful is the idea of working on your state. The state being defined as how you feel or how you experience life at any one particular moment in time. Okay. So this state, all right. And so your state, and let me actually see if I can share. Mari, you give me access to share the screen?
Give me a second.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, I made you a co-host. So
Perfect. Awesome.
you'll be able
Great.
to share.
Wonderful. Okay. So let me share with you this. All right. We are talking about the state. Your state, the way you feel at any one particular time, is a function of your thoughts, meaning like your state dictates your thoughts. Your thoughts dictate your emotions. Your emotions dictate your feelings. Your feelings dictate your behavior, and your behavior impacts your performance. So that is in essence a hierarchy level. The one at the highest is your state, and the one at the lowest is your performance.
Yes.
So in traditional, like over the last 40 years, what we have heard is personal development telling us that we should focus on this state, right? That we should focus on our thoughts, that we should manage our emotions. And while all of that is absolutely true, what actually works really, really well is to focus on your state. Okay? Because the moment you change your state, guess what happens? What changes?
It's the thoughts.
The thoughts, right? Okay, when you focus on your thoughts, when you change your thoughts, what changes?
Emotions.
Exactly. When you now have changed your thoughts, which change your emotions, what is impacted?
Your feelings.
Feelings.
Yeah. And then once our feelings are impacted, we automatically have a different
Behavior.
behavior. And when you change your behavior, you have a different impact on performance. Okay. So an easier technique, rather than working on your performance and your behavior and your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts, is to actually work at the level of state. Okay. So does anybody here know any great ways to change your state? Any ideas of how you can change your state?
But let's see if somebody else can.
Yeah, I know you know, Mari.
So they can.
So they can guess. Let's see.
Be more positive.
Okay, you can be more positive, but being more positive is kind of like still within the thoughts.
The thoughts.
You know, it's
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
it goes.
yeah, I'm gonna be positive. And some people can argue that and say, well, it's really a state of your being. You can choose to be positive, sure, but I'm talking about that practical change where if you're already having like gloomy thoughts, okay, so I'm gonna give you an example right now so that you can experience a change of state almost automatically. Let's see.
Of exercise.
You could, right, you could All right. Okay. So yes, exercise could be a way that you change your state, right? But what if that day you're kind of a little tired? Like anybody just say, oh, I don't want to go exercise right now. So tough, right? So the thought comes in and you're like, I don't want to exercise. How do you change that thought? It's tough because now you've already had the thought, which has the emotion of feeling lazy, you know, that feeling of like, I don't want to, dragging on. And then you feel lazy. And then your behavior is you just continue sitting down, doing whatever else you were doing. And it impacts your performance. So something that I really like about working with the state is the fact that it's as simple as a few things. So let's try it. Your state can be impacted by the way you breathe. Become aware right now of how you are breathing at this particular moment. Okay? Become aware of whether your breathing is a little bit slower. Maybe it's regular or irregular. Just become aware of how you're breathing right now. Okay?
No.
All right. Now choose to breathe in a completely different way. It doesn't matter how you breathe. You could breathe faster. You can breathe even slower. You can hold your breath for a while. Just choose to change your breathing. Change your breathing. Do something completely different. Some breathing could be like, you can inhale with your nose, out with your breath. You can inhale with your nose and exhale with your nose. However you want to do it, just change the way you're breathing. Change it. Very good. Very good, Irma. Okay. Letty, how's that working for you? You changed your way of
I
breathing?
do it like, I breathe and then I count until 8 and I hold my breath
Okay.
and then I let it all go. It's supposed
Okay.
to be very good for you.
So you're doing like the square breathing, which is you inhale, hold your breath, exhale.
Uh-huh.
Hold your breath. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that. But right now, for the sake of exercise, make it really simple. You became aware of your breathing and just change your breathing however you want to do it. And as you change your breathing, okay, practicing your breathing right now, any kind of breathing that you want, anything, doesn't have to be fancy, it could be fast. To where you're comfortable to this, you know, right? And then become aware of the thoughts that you have at any one moment. Are you aware of how the thoughts that you're having right now are different than the thoughts you had before? Because
I'm not thinking too much because I'm thinking about breathing.
Breathing, yeah.
so you were focused on the breathing, therefore, yeah, you weren't thinking too
Yeah,
much.
my mind is not.
Your mind went right.
Yeah.
And as you
But
change,
I
right,
can see how that applies. Like I can see how that breathing technique does apply, and whether I realize it or not, it has helped me in the past. So when I receive bad news at the oncologist, like, you know, I go outside and I breathe differently, and it's just like, it does change your state. And I could see why that's the answer to the question that you asked.
Yeah, because you focus on the breathing.
Yeah, because I've never thought about that before, but it's very interesting that you said that, because I am a very positive person, and I'm one of those people that I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and people, you know, have a very large family, people look up to me. So it's one of those roles that you always play, not only as a woman, as a mother, as someone who is strong. And I've never paid attention to that before, but when I'm in that and I slowly, you know, breathe or different breathing techniques, I notice that it does change it, and it goes from I can't do this to I can't do this to it's just, let's just take it today. Like, let's not worry about tomorrow. Let's just do today.
exactly. You've got it. And so all of these techniques aren't necessarily things that we don't do. Like you said, you're already doing these things. But the point is that now that you become aware of how these things are related, now you can purposely use them for you. You can use them so that they serve you rather than you being, let's say, a victim of what, you know, these processes. Because what happens is that your breath has an impact on your physiology, clearly. Did I spell physiology right? Okay, physiology. There you go. So your breath has an impact on your physiology. And your physiology has an impact on your performance. And your performance has an impact on your state. So the moment you change your breath, you are going to impact your state automatically. Now, the funny thing is you don't have to specifically have like the magic breath. You just have to change it. The moment you change it, just like what happened to Letty, you know, Letty changed her breath and she became aware and so present on her breath that it's just like, yeah, now I'm not even thinking anything because I'm focused on my breathing. Okay. So now look how simple it was. Rather than thinking about changing our thoughts and having to think about, I need to be positive and I'm not going to think that way. I have to think positive, whatever. That's a whole like chain of thoughts. If you think about it, then you start doing what you don't want to do, which is you want to think less, you want to not engage into your mind, into the busyness of your ego, yet the actual action keeps you trapped in the thought. So you don't do what you're wanting to do, you do exactly what you don't want to do. But when we focus at the level of state, all you have to do is breathe differently, and that will automatically create a chain of effects where you go, oh, I didn't even have to think about that. All I had to do was breathe differently, and that's it. Okay. So that's one technique. That's one technique that you can use to change your state. Another technique that many people are aware of, and they very much sometimes like, but I think we don't use it as often as we can. I think, you know, Letty talked about it. She said, you know, going to the gym, definitely. But something really simple, right? Like, let's say that it just wherever you are requires no work. Wherever you are, it requires like zero effort. It's just finding a song, any song, right? Any song, and playing that song. Right?
Well, that changes the state for sure.
Immediately, like,
Yeah, I do that in the morning
yeah,
before I go to work.
yeah. So the moment we listen,
Cuando tú escuchas una canción que te gusta, te cambia ahí mismo tu estado emocional. Porque estás, "Oh, qué rico".
so you listen, right? You play any song that's a little bit upbeat, and you can have some preferences of songs that you like, and just playing a song, okay, will automatically change your state. This doesn't have to be a decision about, oh, I need to feel better, I should be positive. How many of you have those thoughts that say, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be positive, I should not be thinking this way, I should be, etc., etc. Well, all of those shoulds are still engaging in the thought, and thoughts can be very difficult to change if we haven't established a discipline in our mindset to be able to turn those around. So again, you don't have to worry about anything below the thoughts. You just work on changing your state. Jump on the trampoline. If you have a mini trampoline, I absolutely love that. Super easy to do if you have one. In fact, I recommended this to a friend of mine who turned 50 a few weeks ago, and she's just jumping away because she feels like she's dancing Zumba. So it's just a matter of jumping in the trampoline, changing the way you breathe, playing a song, and engaging in something that is as simple as that, and that will automatically change your state. Now, girls, tell me, when you change your state, what changes automatically? Your
Thoughts.
thoughts. When your thoughts change, what will automatically change?
Emotion.
Emotions.
Right. When your emotions change, what will change?
Feelings.
Feelings,
When your feelings change, what will change? Behavior, right? Like when you're like feeling like, oh, I don't know if I can, whatever. And when you change your behavior, what is going to change?
Your performance.
Your performance, your outcome, the results that you have. So
Yeah.
this chain of thinking is a much faster way to have an impact on your mindset than anything that we have seen in the past. Now, here's the key. A lot of people try to manage their state. Managing their state is still not the most efficient way because they still are thinking, I'm going to be in a positive state. Notice that what I'm saying is not make a decision to be in a positive state. I'm saying just change your state. Do something else, right? That doesn't engage your conscious thinking. So this methodology that I'm teaching you is about changing your state at an unconscious level. where your left brain is not actively engaged in the busyness of logic. Too many times we engage too much into the logic of what needs to happen. I'm like, okay, the thought, and we try to think through everything. But really, when we leave the responsibility for the change to the unconscious mind, you can change your state by simply choosing to breathe differently, by playing a song, by jumping in the trampoline, by walking outside, by splashing a little bit of water on you. Just change your state. And the moment that happens, you don't have to even worry about managing and thinking that you need to be in a positive state. Your unconscious mind, which is an incredible, powerful tool inside of you, will generate the resources that you need so that all of those thoughts, emotions, feelings, behaviors, outcomes, performance that you were struggling with or not wanting to have, you will see it in a different light. The mentor, a man that I was mentored by, he said this: the problem is never. The problem is what word?
Never.
The problem is never the problem. The problem is the state we are in when we encounter the problem. Okay.
That's true.
Yep. Have you ever felt like life was horrible and terrible? And then suddenly something, you start laughing because you see something funny and then you realize, I'm like, that was so stupid. Why did I think that was so serious? Because it's not the problem. It's a problem of our state. Because remember, the moment you change your state, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your behavior, and your performance change. So many of the technologies that we use today, so many of the techniques we use today are about our emotions, right? How many of you try or have tried to manage your emotions, being like when you're feeling sad and you're like, okay, I don't want to feel sad. I know I'm feeling sad, but I don't want to feel sad. And so then you start thinking about you're feeling sad. And as you're thinking about feeling sad, you feel more what? Sad. Because you don't want to feel sad, but you're thinking about the thoughts and the things that happen that make you feel sad. But you don't want to feel sad. So rather than having to manage the thoughts or the emotions or the feelings, we just go to the level of state. You change your state and all is good with the world. If you've ever been in love, all is good with the world. If right now you have the biggest—
That's the best state.
Right? Yes. If you ever have, like, imagine that you're having a situation that, that's pretty bad, like not health related. Let's not go there. That could be difficult. But imagine, something tough, right? And suddenly you win the lottery. You find out that you won, I don't know, $20 million. Wouldn't that change your state? And all your problems seem to go away?
Immediately.
Right? Immediately.
Would change everything.
Right? It was like, all my problems are gone. What do you mean?
All my problems are gone. I'm happy. I'm a millionaire.
Yeah. But it was never a problem of the money, because truly $20 million are out there for any one of us to build, to create, to find, to build a business, an idea, or anything for any one of us to do. So the problem is never the problem. The problem is the state that we are in when we're encountering the problem. So the secret to any transformation that we want to have is to simply go in and work at the level of state at an unconscious level. Again, through what? Through breathing, through jumping in a trampoline, through playing a song that you like. Just a song. And it doesn't even have to, don't be like, well, I don't want to play the song. Just open YouTube and play the latest songs. Just see what happens. Just see what happens. And it's like, that allows you to be fully and completely present. Okay.
Even Shirley, you can put a big smile, and you cannot be depressed if you're smiling. It's something your brain recognizes that you are smiling. Yeah. And it changes.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love to do, and I'm gonna play it for you. I cannot not change my state when I'm hearing something like this. Let me show you. Hold on. So when I play this, there's no way to not, there's not a way to change my state.
Un bebé feliz.
That's it.
A happy baby.
Happy baby.
Yeah.
That changes my state every time.
Does.
So I don't have to think about, oh, my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings. I just change my state. Is that simple or what?
Sure.
Yes,
Do you think you can play a song, breathe differently, just to see what happens? Just to see what happens. Like just for the sake of curiosity to see what state your unconscious mind is going to put you in and explore and live in that way. Mhm. Okay, so what questions do you have about what we just shared? Any questions?
I just think also that gratitude, you know, like waking up every day and,
Mhm.
you know, appreciate everything that you have in life. First of all, your life, of course, that you're healthy. Second, you know, if you have kids, you know, thanking God for them every day.
Yeah.
And just being, you know, being thankful for all the blessings that you have in life. I think that for me, I do it every morning, changes my state.
Yeah, and that is very, very important. Absolutely. You know, and since you mentioned that, Letty, it isn't just about having, like, because there's a lot of trends, right? We humans, we love trends, like the latest thing. And a lot of trends say, you know, you have to be grateful. It's another one. Shoulds and have tos are words that we constantly go to. The should, have to, like words, right? You should be grateful, have to be grateful. But I think what you're describing is definitely a place of gratitude from
From
another,
the heart.
from the heart. That it isn't, oh, I'm gonna have a gratitude journal. There we go again, the have word, the should, you know. I think by the time that we get into our late 40s, early 50s, 60s, we've been through enough things in our life that the gratitude sort of flourishes naturally,
Yes.
right?
True.
That it does. It's like you've been through enough, and let me ask you this: why do you think we build gratitude with time and as we get older? What do you think is the lesson that allows us to be grateful?
Experiences that you have, whether they are good or bad or not.
Yeah.
I think in my case, it was a really sad experience, but you know, I came out of alive of that. So to me, from that moment on, me and my kids, it came out of my heart really that I was blessed, you know, that God gave me a second chance.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And for that, you know, I should be always grateful.
Right.
And thankful.
So what I'm hearing you say is that the gratitude came when you realized that life gave you a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that true for everybody? Mari, is that true for you as you overcame cancer? What was the lesson that built in that gratitude for you?
For me, it gave me more faith, right? All the challenges that I have had in my life, it's like I see that God is there.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that is working in my life, and I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think also depends how you look at it, because some people will think that that's something bad. And I think of what happened in your life, it's a lesson that you need to learn something.
Mhm.
of course.
Because if you don't, it's gonna happen again. At least that's my thoughts. So,
So do I hear you saying that you had this thought of like that God took care of you? Is that what you said?
oh yes.
Yeah. So you had a thought that said God took care of you. And that is, that you came out the other side, you came out alive, you got that second chance.
And I learned a lot and I became a better person. So
Yes.
all of that, that's what I think was amazing.
Están
Right.
hablando de-
So the lessons became your gratitude.
Mhm.
Like the group of the lessons of the experience became that seed for gratitude. What about for you, Irma?
Oh God, a second chance is sorry, you become more tolerant to people,
Hmm.
family and friends, more easygoing. No, it's really.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Sometimes we fight for things that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, they pull the glass on the right. I want it on the left. You fight for that. And at the end of the day, that's crap. Just be happy with what you have and be grateful.
Right. So what I'm hearing you say is that you realize that there are more important things in life.
Yes. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So the idea of when you get to, again, late 40s, 50s, 60s, we've been through enough things by this point. Not that younger people haven't, of course, but since we are talking about our group, it's that we had a lesson that we got a second chance, that God took care of us, that something greater than ourselves was taking care of us to get us through. That there were more important things in life, right? That we had focused on things that maybe weren't as important. So we learned to be more tolerant and more patient. And all of that, those lessons became those gratitudes. And that is what allowed us to be in that place of gratitude.
Yep.
And which one of us would go back and do things differently? Or would you still have gone through what you went through?
Are we talking about the diagnosis or just in life general?
Life in general.
So,
I think our mistakes are who make us. You know what I mean? It's our trials and our tribulations that make us strong. They refine us. They teach us lessons. Without them, you can't be the person who you are today. And I think looking back at everything I've gone through from a very early age, I wouldn't have made it with this cancer diagnosis. I had to experience those things to survive this, I like Jan's word yesterday. We weren't survivors. She used, Irma, Mary, do you remember that word she used?
Yes.
What was that word? We weren't survivors. We are
Thrivers.
Right.
I love that. We're thrivers. And that was just perfect because I've never been like, I'm the victim or I'm a survivor. I'm like, no, it is what it is and you move forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
mhm.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we need to watch the words that we use because that will affect our state.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Becoming more aware, as I mentioned previously, a big one is the should and the have to. Whenever we feel like we have to or we should, whenever we're using these two words, it's like we feel trapped. These are not words of choice. These are not words of freedom. These are words that bind. These are words that constrict. It's
Mhm.
different to say, I should, because when do we use this? We say, I should eat
You
healthier.
don't want to do anything.
I should, but you don't.
And then
Eat
you're
healthy.
shooting all over yourself and it doesn't work.
You shouldn't, yeah, you should. And I have to, I have to go, to the doctor. I have to go. It's like, we don't have to. We get to. We have a
Tengo
choice.
bastante.
So
No, we
definitely
need to.
should and the have to, right? We're using, like Mari says, becoming aware of the words that we use. Here's something really important. I don't know if you know this, but the unconscious mind does not process negative.
Okay.
Yeah. So whenever we are communicating with ourselves, it's better, this is very important, it's better to have a moving towards attitude rather than a moving away from. What do I mean by that? A lot of people say, I don't want to be sick. That's stated in the negative. It's stated in negative, not being bad. It's just, the grammar. I don't want to be sick. It's stated in the negative. It's focusing on what we don't want. So what's another way to word that? I don't want to be sick. How would you say that in the positive?
I'm gonna be healthy.
Right? I want to be healthy. Okay. What about I don't want to be poor? What do you want to be instead?
Rich.
I want to be
A
rich.
millionaire?
I want to be a millionaire, right?
Well, rich can be millionaire, billionaire, whatever.
Financially,
money.
Exactly.
Financially well, financially free.
I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be poor. I don't want a bad relationship.
No, you say, I want a great relationship.
Yeah. So focus on what you want. I want a great relationship. Okay. So becoming aware of stating something not in the negative, but allowing and sending those messages to your unconscious mind of what you do want and stating it in the positive. Because when
Yeah.
you state, I don't want to be sick, what are you thinking of? What are you visualizing?
Sickness.
All the
Yeah.
stuff you don't want to do. Go to the hospital,
Right?
the oncologist.
No, exactly. So we want to state it in the positive. I want to be healthy. So very much like what Mari is talking about, becoming aware that your unconscious mind does not process negatives, and your unconscious mind will give you exactly what you ask for. So if,
It's true.
yeah, I have a confession to make. I live in this apartment building, right? One of the security guards, he has towed my car once, and he's towed my daughter's car once, because they have really strict rules here. So several times, I have to confess, I have thought about putting nails in his, like, when he's driving, I'm like, I'm just gonna throw nails. This, like the last 2 weeks, I've been thinking about throwing little nails on the floor, like I'm like at night, like really late at night, waiting, because he has this routine that he drives around. I just wish, that evil dark side of me, like, I'm just going to throw in nails, and then he would drive by, and then I know he'd get a flat tire, and then I'd go pick them up so nobody else gets their car damaged. Who else has thoughts like that? Not maybe that specifically. But
Not me, Shirley.
oh,
No.
girl, I own my dark side. Okay. I do. So of course, karma, and unconscious mind. So what was I visualizing? That happened to me twice where I was like, oh, I would so do this, this guy, he's so mean, whatever, towed my car for no reason. Like, okay, twice. So guess what happens? Yesterday, I go take my car to the
Nail in your tire.
Nail.
I had a nail in my tire.
That's karma.
Karma and the
Yeah.
unconscious mind. We create everything.
Yeah.
I think that's the law of attraction.
Law of attraction. the
You
unconscious
attract what you
mind.
think and your thoughts,
For sure.
I do believe in that.
Yeah, your unconscious mind is creating the outside world. There's laws of the universe that are creating for us. And here I was visualizing something for somebody else, but I was visualizing it. So guess what I'm going to attract?
That, the same thing.
So I was like, damn it. Fine, I own it. I deserve this.
You're responsible.
I'm responsible. I own my
Yeah.
ego and my dark side. This is my consequence for thinking that way. Fine, I will let him go. I won't wish him bad anymore.
Let the universe take care of him.
Shirley, let me share something that happened about that the subconscious mind don't process negative.
Yes.
My daughter was telling me, that's like 3 years ago or 2 years ago, my daughter was telling me, I tell something to Lola and Lola does the contrary. And she's like challenging me, like she's more stronger than me. And then I listen to the conversation, and the conversation was, Lola, don't do that. And Lola went and did it. So
course.
after that, I told Marianne, if you don't want her to put the shoes in the living room, tell her, get the shoes and put it in your room. Don't, get the food and eat on the table instead of doing it on the sofa. And it changed completely because kids, they function on a subconscious level. And
Right.
it's amazing how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So becoming aware of those words, exactly like I'm so glad that you brought it up, because it is so important to become aware of how your unconscious mind processes information. So let's do a quick recap, and you all tell me what you learned. All right. First slide. All right. Who can tell me what your number one takeaway from here? And like, as if you were the teacher, trainer, coach, tell me what you learned from this. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Irma,
I knew it. Well, let me see. It was a very interesting section. I never thought, changing like a breathing or music would change all the things that change, because it's not only the state, it's the emotion, the performance, the feeling. It's just you whole complete human being. One little thing.
That
Yep.
will change your life. That just the breathing will change your life completely.
Yeah, Mari, but you never thought of that.
Oh, no, of course.
You need to learn these little things to be able to become something better. And it is, it's great.
Oh, I'm super glad. And mind you, it doesn't have to be, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to go do breathing techniques. Look, just change your breathing.
No.
That already
Like
changed. Yeah, just change your breathing. However you change it, any way you change it, it works already. Just know that when we change our breathing, every state has an association to breathing. When you're in love, you breathe a certain way. When you're watching a movie that's like a little bit of excitement and adventure, you breathe a different way. When you are eating at a restaurant, you breathe a different way. When you're talking to your friends, you breathe a different way. So every state is associated to a breath. Become aware of the breath, the different breaths that you have. If you don't like what you're feeling at that moment, change your breath. Just change your breath. Awesome. Great job, Irma. So awesome. All right. Ada, what can you tell me? Am I saying it right, Ada?
yeah, you actually did it very good. Yes, it is Ada.
Good. Okay, awesome.
So actually it's just, I've been doing these things on my own, and I've never really felt like maybe I was doing, I still in a way felt like I was still discouraged, even though it did change my state of mind, so to hear the feedback, on just the song choice, on the breathing, and just the other day, it was pouring rain and I was feeling gloomy and it was thunderstorming like crazy. And I told my kids, let's go jump on the trampoline. As you guys can see, I'm sitting on my trampoline right now.
Yes.
And it's pouring rain, it's thunderstorming, and I'm jumping on the trampoline and my kids are looking at me like, huh? And the next thing you know, we're all out here, we're having an amazing time, we're laughing, and I don't even remember what I was upset about.
Exactly.
And laughing from head to toe. Like, I don't even remember why I was upset, but it was just so cool, like, to hear you say all of this, because it's just like, I just feel like I've wanted to do something, and it just kind of reaffirms that I'm on the right path. So it feels like really good to listen in and to hear all of this today. So that's also another state of mind right there.
Yes, good for you. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad. And again, this is so wonderful because we do all of these things, but it's just that now we become aware of their connections and their impact, so that now we can make a conscious decision about changing these whenever we want, right? And using these things to work for us rather than us working for them, if you would. All right, Leti?
What was the question again?
What was your takeaway from this particular slide?
Well, I think in my case, I think I've always been a very positive person, but I never had it broken down the way you have it, like so technical. So looking at it is easy to understand, you know, how, I mean, the most important thing is your state, you know, and from then on, you know, everything is going to change. And I do believe in that. I mean, I do believe that the state that you are in is going to change the outcome,
Absolutely.
you know. So I always try to be positive, you know, with everything, even at work, you know, because I think it's important to me to have that attitude, because it makes me feel better as a person. It makes me feel happier. That's a decision that I guess I make also in the morning,
Yes,
that this is going to be a great day, and
that's awesome.
it happens to be a great day, you know.
Right, good for you.
But I would say it's not like I wake up and said, oh my God, I hate it.
Right.
This is going to be a great day. No, I really feel it. And I have that in me, that good energy that is telling me it's going to be a great day. I know it. I'm going to be very productive. I'm going to be very, very creative, whatever it is that I need that day to
Yeah.
be. I focus on that. And yeah, it's just really good to see it in the way that you explained it. It's
Good.
really good.
I'm glad that you learned something. This is wonderful. All right, from this slide, okay, the shoulds, the have tos, what the unconscious mind, you know, processes information. What was your number one takeaway from this slide?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, what was your number one takeaway from this particular slide?
I'm a big couldn't person. That's me down to a T. So I'll try to watch the language. I'll try to maybe come up with positive words and try to just change it. My husband tells me that all the time, and words really are powerful, just as our thought process. So I'll have to really focus on that a little bit more. Now that I know the other, like the techniques, I can definitely incorporate a lot more smoother, and hopefully has a better impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Like what Letty was saying too, be more positive. So I'm glad. Irma, what was your takeaway from this slide?
Well, the more positive thinking, the more positive things that you're going to get in life. Yeah, that's what we attract. You want to be sick, you're going to be sick. But if you want to be healthy, you want to do things right, and that's what you're going to get, all positive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good. Letty, I know you had mentioned a little bit about this already, but was there anything different that you got from this slide that you didn't have before?
No, I was just talking to my sister. I was saying to her that, you know, never start any phrase in a negative way, because the universe doesn't understand negative. If you say, you know, please don't bring me a bad man, the universe understands bad men. So that's what you're going to get.
Right.
So you need to change the wording and say, you know, I want a great guy. I want a loving person.
Right.
You know, you have to just change the way you ask.
Yeah. Focus on what you want.
Exactly.
Focus on what you want. Very good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, something that Letty brought up that was very inspiring was, and every one of you shared, was the whole dynamic of that all of the things that we have learned through our lives, the things that we have experienced that have been difficult, have given us an incredible amount of gratitude that comes from the heart. And Ada brought in, you know, how you all thrivers, right? Rather than survivors, you're thrivers. And that thriving with it has this gratitude from the heart that really does change things for us at a completely different level. You know, we've recognized that we got a second chance, that God has taken care of us, God in the universe has taken care of us, that we have had those lessons become those seeds of gratitude, that there are more important things in life, and that our trials have refined us and taught us many different lessons. So yeah, it's good stuff. And it's beautiful what can really happen when we collaborate with women like in this group as we are here. You know, we have basically, Mari started sharing with us what are the things that we can do to optimize our brain. And I want to tell you that brain performance is key. And you have your own unique way. They call it biofeedback, which is your body giving you information about what it's feeling. And you have your own way of identifying or being able to understand the peak performance for your brain, whether that's more water in your diet, whether it's more fresh air. For me, I love green juices. I take wheatgrass juice in the morning. I have, well, radish, beet juice is not green, but I have to have beet juice in the morning. So, you know, and sometimes I don't want to make it. I just buy it at Whole Foods. I pay a little bit more, but I have my juice already. So whatever it is for you, maybe coconut water, whatever it is, begin to experiment and become aware. This is really important. I'll leave you with this. When you consume certain food, become aware of how your brain feels. After you consume sugar, become aware of how your brain feels. What do you sense up here? Become very like, in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, we call it calibration. It's the ability to sense things, you know, to calibrate the differences that you're observing within yourself. So calibrate is like, do I feel pressure? Do I feel expansion? Do I feel lightheaded? Do I feel fogginess? Like when you eat certain foods, become aware of what you felt before. If you weren't aware of what you felt before, no big deal, but become aware of what you feel after. And that alone will give you that biofeedback to go, yeah, I don't like to feel that way. Like I can't consume too much sugar. If I have a dessert that has too much sugar, I'm just like, it's not even about the taste buds anymore. It's about the way my brain feels. Immediately, I get like a little bit of pressure on my brain. And I know that my brain is working extremely hard and that it's taking a hit because of the amount of sugar that food has. So become aware of that, okay? That's the last little tip. Mari,
No, and there's a connection between your gut and your brain.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
physical connection.
Yes.
Some doctors say that your stomach is your second brain.
Mhm.
So tomorrow we are going to talk about gut health.
Nice.
Also, we are going to talk the effects of certain foods in your brain, in your body. And I have been eating really healthy for the last, I don't know, 10 years and more the last 5 years. And when I eat bad, because sometimes you eat bad, right? I feel so uncomfortable. And a friend one day told me, that's so bad that you are used to it in a way and everything is bad for you. I said, no, I feel good every day. So the day that I feel bad, I can recognize it. Because when you feel bad every day, you didn't notice that you're bad.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we are going to talk about, you know, what type of food, not, you know, all the preservatives, antibiotics, and things that are in food that are killing us. So we need to be aware and know about that, not to use it. And, you know, so tomorrow is going to, and it's about ageless, because if you eat clean, you will look younger and feel younger. So all, and healthy and all that. So that's why it's so important.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. You guys bring a friend. Bring a
Yes.
friend to join you. The more the merrier in this wonderful conversation with these beautiful women.
Oh, we had a great conversation today, Shirley. Thank you very much.
Thank
It was
you.
amazing.
Thank you. I'm
Thank you,
so
Shirley.
excited. Absolutely, Irma. Thank you, Letty. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Shirley. It was great. I
Thank
loved
you,
it.
ladies.
Thank you. I
Great
love you,
friend.
Shirley.
Say what, Mari?
I love you, Shirley.
I love you. You know that. I love you too. Always here to help and support. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Heather, are you here in Miami?
No, I'm actually in Canada.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Oh.
I'm like, those don't seem like natural surroundings that I know. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I live in the country, so I'm about an hour away from Toronto.
Nice.
So I
Very
live in a
cool.
small city called Stouffville. So it's very just I'm trying to run after my dog, my shoe.
Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, that'll change.
Qué cómica.
Yes.
Just a quick question, Shirley. Are you going to put any of the notes that you did today, Madi? Are you going to put anything like that on the group? Because
I can put it up.
points that you made, like, but I'm not sure if there's going to be like a PDF or something that you can post in the group. I
Yes,
think
we
it would
can
be
post it in the group.
awesome.
You have to do it, and then I post it tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I
Awesome.
will post also the presentation of what I was talking about, so you will
Mhm.
have.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. If you want to learn more, is it okay if I share with them the introductory course that I have? Okay.
Of course.
Want to learn more? Let me, I'll put it here for you. I have an introductory course that will teach you a lot about what are the newest techniques when it comes to neuroscience and transformation. And you can get the course at, hold on, New Code Experience, which is the name of our company, .com, and just go to free course. Okay. So if you go to newcodeexperience.com/free-course, you can get access to a 4-module course where I will give you the introductory about what are the older techniques, right? The concepts of like working with your thoughts, right? Those are older techniques that have been taught for the last 40 years. But these concepts that we specialize in the company, with our company, is we're using the latest and the most advanced in neuroscience in order to create transformation that is much easier. So there you can get access and learn more, definitely about more ways to connect with your unconscious mind and to definitely take all of this to a different level. So newcodeexperience.com/free-course. Okay. All right. And you can definitely find me like
Mira, sacarle una copia a esa llave, porque a ver, igual que llevó la llave. Entonces,
all right.
el
And
día
I'll
que
put it in
vino,
chat as well too.
So I will post that in the group too, so
Okay.
you will have access.
Thank you, Mari. I'll put it here too.
Great.
All right.
Okay, so have
See
a
you tomorrow.
and thank you for everything, Shirley.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Girls, tomorrow we have another session about nutrition, gut health, and how it affect
vamos al aire.
your brain, your performance, your body, everything.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I'll be there at 6.
Have a good night.
Yes. Bye. Bye, girls.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Ada.